They say that moving house is one of life's most stressful events. And yet, for many of the house hunters we've helped over the last 13 years, it's not just been a case of packing up boxes and moving on. They've been packing up entire lives and striking out for pastures new. Whether they were setting up in business or searching for peace in the countryside or by the sea, we've helped hundreds of people follow their dreams. And now we're going to catch up with a few of them and find out if their big moves paid off.
This week we're back with two couples who were after the forever family home. There's excitement.
Crack open the champagne.
Amazement.
No, this is awesome.
Yeah.
It looks almost too swanky for us.
And drama.
Hello.
We've been a bit impatient and a bit naughty.
What have you done?
As we try to find two very special properties.
This week, it's all about finding the forever family home, the perfect place where it all comes together. You love the location and the house. It's time to settle down, bring up the children, invite friends and family, because one thing's for sure, there's no place quite like home.
Among the many couples we've helped over the years were Alison Green and Mark Thomas and Nikki and Damien Sung. They were struggling to find property perfection, so they called us in for a search that would take us from deep in the home counties of Berkshire and Buckinghamshire to the stunning seaside towns of the Kent coastline. Alison and Mark are flying high on the career ladder. He's the MD of a building company and she's a doctor working in pharmaceuticals. They're living in one of London's smartest neighbourhoods and are enjoying everything that city life has to offer. But with the arrival of their daughter Amelie, they're finding, like many new parents, that city flats and small children don't go quite so well together.
We were convinced that we were going to stay in London and that it wouldn't change our lifestyle.
It was really hard work, having no garden, being around all the traffic.
Something had to give. So in one fell swoop, they put their city flat on the market and Alison quit her London job and found a new one with a large pharmaceutical company based in Sandwich on the East Kent coast. The location for their new family home is decided.
But Mark's work is based in London, so he needs a weekday crash pad in the city. They've just accepted a full asking price offer of $495,000 on their London pad, so are ready and raring to make the move.
I think a large property, something with space, light and airy.
I'd like to be quite near the sea.
Well, that's where we come in. It's up to us to find them the perfect home and make their two-property dream a reality. And I want to have a good nose around their Marylebone apartment to see if it gives me any clues to the type of house they're looking for in the country.
This couple know exactly what they like and have a real flair for design, having done up their existing property in their own distinctive style.
Would you transplant this flat with a couple of extra bedrooms to Kent if you could?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I like it. I like the space of the rooms, the nice big square rooms, big high ceilings. I'd like to have a kitchen, which is obviously the hub of the home, so we can actually live in there, and outside space.
With its high ceilings and generous proportions, this place is a typical mansion block flat. The trouble is, it's typical to cities and not the sort of thing you find in the Kent countryside.
If they want something like this, then we'll need to look in the coastal towns. Let's talk about where it needs to be.
Preferably like to be within a 30-minute to 40-minute drive of Sandwich.
Margate, Ramsgate, the roads are very busy in rush hours. Coming this way west, you could certainly get beyond Canterbury in half an hour and beyond Dover, Folkestone. So it opens up your search area quite a way this way. I'm interested in how much development you want to tackle.
I think it would vary. And I mean, it could just be just putting in a new kitchen, a new bathroom, or it could be a huge project of, you know, completely starting from scratch. It's probably the area and the potential that it's got.
But if you found us the ideal property that we can move in straight away that had been done to our taste, then great.
Yeah, I doubt it.
You never know. Anything's possible.
Especially when Phil and I are on the case. So, in Kent, they want at least 4 bedrooms, the rooms should have a spacious feel with high ceilings, and unless we can find them something exactly to their taste, Alison would prefer a property that needs work.
They can spend up to £500,000 on the property and have also budgeted £200,000 for Mark's city crash pad. While Mark and Alison are looking forward to a dream home with bags of space, for Damien and Nikki, their current living conditions are far from ideal.
Where's At? You know where At is, don't you?
Good girl.
Since selling their house in London 6 months ago to find a better quality of life near family, Damien, Nikki, their 3-year-old Evie and baby Joe have been in limbo.
We just suddenly found ourselves accepting an offer and then having nowhere to go. So we moved back here to my mum and dad's.
Our stuff stays in boxes, and now, you know, we're ready to start the hunt properly, really.
Nikki's parents' loft is just a bit closer to family than they ideally wanted. And with editor Damien working and playing from home and the kids growing every day, space is tight.
But getting out of the loft could be tricky, as there's not much on the market.
And to make matters worse, they're not helping themselves with a list of specific demands.
4 bedrooms,
Garden
a garden.
with a big tree in it. We need a watermill.
I don't really think the watermill's like that high on the list of priorities for me. No, I'd rather have like a big kitchen.
Oh, I need an office. I need somewhere to work.
Ideally, though, out of the house.
They're playing a worryingly familiar tune, but at least there's one high note.
I think we've been really lucky with our houses before because we sort of seem to buy and sell at the right time. And so that's kind of allowed us to have this pool of money.
With a mortgage-free dream in mind, they've got an impressive £800,000 cash to spend.
What do you think is stopping you from finding something?
I think initially we probably didn't have a wide enough area. We were being too specific.
Bear in mind that we're in a situation where the availability is very limited.
Yeah.
And we do not want to find a year from now that you're still in that loft.
No.
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 Nikki and Damien's £800,000 must buy them a house close to Nikki's parents in Maidenhead. With 4 bedrooms, a garden, period features, and, very importantly, workspace for Damien.
While Damien works from home, Mark will need good travel links to commute to London. Our first stop is in a prime location, the quiet medieval town of Sandwich. Alison's work is only a few minutes away, and for Mark there's a train station close by for his Monday morning commute.
This Grade 2 listed 17th century house is in the heart of a conservation area. It's on the market at the top of their £500,000 budget, but the simple exterior hides a stylish surprise.
There's a large open-plan reception leading onto a modern kitchen, a formal dining room, and upstairs there's 5 bedrooms, 2 en-suites and a large family bathroom.
This house is a bit of a test. It hasn't got the development potential Alison wanted, but the interior is so reminiscent of their London flat it's spooky. So if these two could forget about doing work, then it could be perfect.
Oh, this is large.
This house is a bit of a surprise because when we first came, we were expecting a typical sandwich house.
Yeah, it's very spacious.
It is heaven. It's Alison's favourite. It's definitely heaven. I love the floorboards.
I'm questioning what needs refurbishing. It's all been done.
It doesn't have development opportunities, but it does, we felt, offer your way of living.
It seems that the lack of development potential is an issue for Alison.
Now, coming on through, you've got this fantastic tiled floor, but don't be suspicious of this house because it's not recently developed. They've had it for 10 years and they've just done it as they go along. Of course we realise nothing is going to be 100% in your style.
I'd say it is, actually.
Could Alison and Mark be falling for this house despite it needing almost no work?
I think this is the smallest bedroom, but it's still a very good size.
Yeah, nice and light.
It maintains the ceiling height, contemporary feel, and still the character. There's an ensuite shower in there. Again, memories of your flat.
Definitely our taste. Definitely. Look at the floor. It's our floor. We've stolen it from us.
As you noticed on the way in to the house, we're opposite the garage. Yeah, that will affect the popularity of the house. I don't know whether it's an issue for you two, but it may cause concern for some people.
Probably the road is more of an issue. I'm just thinking about Amelie, because that is quite a busy road, because it's obviously all one way in Sandwich, and all the traffic will come around here. So that is a little bit of a concern. But like I said, there's always, you can't tick all the boxes. You've got to compromise somewhere.
Compromise, your favourite word, Kirsty. They seem to love the property's interior, but what about outside?
Now, the garden looks lovely, Mark, but actually the majority of the greenery is in pots. So it's not part of the fixtures and fittings of the house. It wouldn't be here on completion day. It would actually look very different.
I mean, it's great. It's low maintenance, which is wonderful, but I must admit I did envisage a bit of grass.
So a couple of issues, the garden and the road.
The road is probably the main one, actually. It's quite noisy, and I think, you know, when it gets sort of 9 o'clock in the morning and 5 o'clock at night, it's going to be even noisier. And, you know, we've had that in London, and we would like somewhere quieter.
The trouble is, if this house were away from the main road, it would be way out of their price range.
We're not going to get what they want for their budget in sought-after Sandwich. I know there's huge pressure to get this important purchase right, but we're catching up with house hunters we've helped with the most important purchase they'll ever make. It's the big one, a forever family home, which comes with a long checklist and a hefty price tag. Alison and Mark had £500,000 to find their family home, but also earmarked £200,000 for a city crash pad for Mark's work in London, while Nikki and Damien had £800,000 to spend on their dream property. Kirsty thinks she's found a great place to start, Maidenhead, just a stone's throw from Nikki's mum and dad.
There's tons of space for growing kids. 4 good-sized bedrooms, 2 reception rooms and an open-plan kitchen. Outside, there's a garage ripe for converting into office space for Damien. We've arranged a viewing before it's even hit the market. It's only just been valued under budget at between $725,000 and $750,000.
I want you to think about the outside of the house when you're inside of the house, because actually this bit of the house really reflects what the whole of the house could be. What do you think, Nikki, from the outside?
I think it's really pretty. I really like it.
Cheered you up? Good, let's buy it. Let's buy it. Let's buy it.
That's slightly premature.
No, that's the attitude I like. Right, OK.
All smiles so far. Let's get inside.
What we've got here is very nice, formal front room. And then, because this house is double-fronted, a second room here.
Right.
So there's lots of space.
Yeah.
And the kitchen at the back.
Yeah.
You rendered them speechless, Kirsty.
Seems all right.
No, it's great. You're looking quite bright-eyed, Nikki.
It's sort of more spacious than any of the other ones we've seen around Maidenhead, I think.
It's exactly the sort of right amount of character for us, but it still feels slightly modern, slightly cool.
And outside, it only gets better, with a potential office for Damien.
That would be perfect, I think, wouldn't it?
It's perfect.
If you're thinking of converting a garage, you may need to make an application for change of use, so it's best to always check.
How does it compare to what you've seen thus far?
It's much bigger, I would say, than what we've seen.
I think it's the best house we've seen.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm chronically worried this is way too good a start. It's not a good sign.
Don't fret, pet. They like the house.
It's quite a good size.
Ceiling rose?
Yeah.
This house, they've absolutely embraced. Now, obviously, I don't know what they're saying upstairs. But I'd be surprised if there was a total turnaround based on the bedrooms.
It does feel more modern upstairs, doesn't it?
Definitely need to add some.
Less character. And it doesn't quite deliver in certain aspects.
It's just whether we think we want to spend the time and energy doing it.
Yeah.
Looks like you were right to be worried, Kirsty. The idea of doing the work to put the character back into the house is too much for them.
You've seen it all now. How are you feeling?
I don't love it. And I feel like I would need to love it to spend this amount of money.
Right. It's our first house. Let's not discount it.
It's me that's speechless now. This is a fantastic house that they could improve over the years to suit them. I think their problem is that they're looking for a ready-made dream home, and they don't come along very often.
A stark contrast to Mark and Alison. They're more than happy to take on a project, although we're struggling to satisfy their other wishes on budget in Sandwich. But if they can see the potential in Ramsgate, then we've found a fantastic property that's crying out for renovation.
This Grade 2 listed Regency property is on the market at just under £325,000, way under their £500,000 budget, and hey presto, it has a massive 220-foot lawned garden.
Now, Oh, this is about the secret garden.
Slightly irregular way of looking at a house. Tackling the garden first, but seeing as that seemed to be the important bits of the last house was the front and the back.
Yeah, beautiful.
This house is exactly the high-ceiling Georgian townhouse by the sea I imagined we'd find.
It's spread over 4 floors. The kitchen and breakfast room are on the lower ground floor. The rather grand reception room is upstairs, and there are 4 bedrooms on the first and second floors.
This place has such potential. There are endless walls you could knock down, and it's ripe for an extension. But it is listed, so they would have to seek the relevant permissions, and there may be restrictions on how much they could do.
Coming in the back here, we'll head straight into the kitchen, and it's really on this level that the serious element of the work would be.
I mean, what I think we're looking at is extending this kitchen out as far as the steps. You'd have a sort of conservatory feeling room, family room, kitchen diner down here, which would be a really nice big open plan room. More formal sitting room on the raised ground floor, and then bedrooms from then on up.
This is much the sort of house that we do in London, and do exactly the same thing. It's just obviously we can't afford a place in London as big as this.
I mean, this is just the type of house we wanted you guys to find us.
This is the grand part of the house. What do you make of this?
Lovely.
Fantastic bay windows.
This is in quite a good nick, isn't it? I thought it was going to be
It is in quite a good nick. The ceiling rose is lovely. The picture rail.
I just want to open it all up. It's calling for 2 windows, isn't it?
Do you 2 want to have an explore upstairs?
Love to,
definitely.
Go and see what you think.
This house is almost 180 grand under budget and would leave loads of cash to do all the work needed.
It's a big room.
Oh, wow. This is probably the master, so there'll be no en-suites or anything.
So we're in the roof space now. Oh, that's tiny.
You put the servants up here.
Oh dear. After a promising start, it seems like this place is starting to lose its appeal.
So,
Oh, yeah.
Come and sit down.
snuggle up.
Steady, Kirsten. What do you make of it upstairs, then?
It's very cosy.
Yeah, it's a nice building, but it's not grabbing me. It's not. I can't imagine myself living there, even with the stuff we want to do. There's just something about it that's not me.
Just tell me one thing before we continue. Do you think that one of the reasons it isn't for you is the Ramsgate location?
I'd prefer not to focus on Ramsgate.
But Ramsgate is such a great area, with real potential where they get so much for their money.
It's not just value for money you need to consider when searching for that forever family home. Location is key. The average daily commute in Britain is 52 minutes. That's over a week spent travelling to and from work each year. So factor it in, especially if you want to be home in time to say night-night. Consider school catchment areas. In some parts of London, the maximum catchment is less than 250 metres. There are good deals to be had on bigger properties in need of renovation. But you need to be sure you have the budget for the property and the work itself. If you've got your heart set on a certain street or even a particular house, why not contact the owner direct? You never know, they might already be thinking of selling, and the savings made on agents' fees could be passed on to you. Alison and Mark are learning that their long wish list is tricky on their budget. It's time we had a serious chat.
We're very keen to hear what you've learned today and how you want to take the search forward.
I think, obviously, you know the type of property you want to see, and obviously you've shown us that. And it's become apparent, really, that if we want the sort of property we want in the location we want it, we need to spend more money.
That's right. And I think as well, I think we're learning that we probably want to be a little bit more ambitious as well with the amount of development work we want to do and consider.
And why not? If they're willing to commit to the time and effort to mould a house to their exact requirements, then so be it. It is their dream property after all. Unlike Alison and Mark, Nikki and Damien would be happy with somewhere a bit more done up. But with such a limited market, we're extending our search 6 miles north of Maidenhead into Buckinghamshire and the pretty town of Marlow. I know it's a location they love, and it's easy to see why.
Situated in the heart of the town centre, within 300 yards of the high street, is this delightful Edwardian house. This property is perfect for them.
It has 5 bedrooms, 3 really charming reception rooms, as well as a superb open-plan kitchen. The whole house has been stylishly modernised while still retaining many of its original features.
It's not currently on the open market, but the owners are looking to sell it for around £780,000. When factoring in the 4% stamp duty, that's 30 grand, it comes in slightly over their budget, but I think we can get it for less.
This one looks amazing on the outside. Ha! That is nothing to the inside.
Wow.
If I get any more smug, I will just blow up and float away.
She's quite pleased with this one. Come on.
So, you know what? I wish I could say welcome to my house, because I would be so pleased to have this as my house.
Oh my God.
Wicked.
It's beautiful.
That'll do. We'll take Wicked as a first description.
No, this is awesome.
Yeah.
It looks almost too swanky for us.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
I'm really fine with this.
No such thing as too swanky, surely.
Just makes me smile coming in here.
It's perfect. It's really sexy. Marlo's cool. Let's look at more of it, please.
Happy to oblige. Hopefully the garden should provide a cool play area for the kids and more.
Just pop your head round there. There's a lovely little stone-built building and a Wendy house.
Excellent. Oh, yeah, I love little areas like that. It's like a little secret garden.
One happy boy.
You've saved up this money and you're in a fantastic position, which is really grown up. But then when Kirsty tells me that Damien plays on his PlayStation and he's a bit of a sort of a big kid.
It is like having 3 kids, but that said, he is the one who handles, negotiations when we've been buying a house before, because he's much cooler-headed than I am.
But when it comes to practical family decisions, is it down to you?
I think if I didn't like a house, I don't think he'd bother pursuing it, because I just wouldn't do it. But I think he's probably more persuadable on a house if I like it.
OK, OK. I'm getting the picture.
But I'm concerned that as soon as they go up a flight of stairs, they'll get altitude sickness and go off the property like in the last house.
Is Nikki thrilled about this house?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Totally?
Totally.
100%?
I haven't heard a word of worry, concern, anything.
So what do you think?
I really like it.
I read the last house wrong, because I thought, this is it. And then Nikki came in and said no.
Oh, my God.
So we could be reading it wrong.
I love the downstairs.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I don't know whether it's because it's so amazing downstairs that I got a little bit disappointed with the upstairs.
This is perfect for them, and I think Nikki can see it now, but Damien still seems stuck.
We're so taken with the house and its suitability for them.
Yeah. How could anyone not think we were right?
How could anybody not?
What a shocking concept, Phil, that we could not pick their house.
Crazy talk.
So,
I really like it.
Nikki really likes it.
Nikki really likes it.
Oh, dear.
No, I really like it too. I don't know whether it's because the downstairs was so amazing that I got a bit disappointed upstairs.
You're never going to be blown away by bedrooms are bedrooms. But actually downstairs is so rock and roll.
Yeah.
It's a goer, though. I think it is a goer, yeah.
Well, let's see if we can beat it. The challenge is set.
We're going to have to use all our guile to top this property. And as if one challenge isn't enough, we also have to find Mark and Alison a home to satisfy their needs. Kirsty may just have the right property in mind, but it blows their 500 grand budget.
It's in the seaside town of Deal, the place to be in this part of Kent. This Georgian mansion is probably the grandest property I've ever come across on a search. It's on the market at £550,000, but it's so beautiful I have to show it to them.
Downstairs, there's a large formal living room, 2 receptions and a large kitchen. A grand staircase leads up to the 5 spacious bedrooms and family bathroom on the first floor. The high ceilings and period features will blow Mark and Alison away.
Now, guys, you might just want to see the garden in case you just think it's too small, and then you would veto the rest of the house.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God.
Oh, come on, I'm allowed to have a laugh, aren't I? Oh. Every now and again, I'm allowed to have a bit of a tease.
God, I want to do cartwheels. I want to do cartwheels.
Yeah, this is football pitch.
And that's only the garden. Inside, it gets even better.
Now, this is front to back. dual aspect.
Beautiful.
With a bay
Beautiful.
window, which I think was a slightly later addition. The Edwardians were very keen on bays.
Yeah.
Because they brought light into the room and enabled you to be a bit nosy.
Look at that, though.
I keep looking down there and thinking, oh, next door's is quite nice. But it's
Yeah,
not.
it's
not
yours.
next door's.
No.
I'm saying it's yours, it's not even ours
No.
yet.
One worry is this house hasn't been touched in years, so it needs major renovation and updating. And in a house of this magnitude, that's going to cost big time. But if Mark and Alison want a long-term project, then this is it.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of
That
money.
is there, we have to raid our piggy banks.
It needs a lot of work. And actually, there's some cardboard boxes in there I could probably live in London.
Yeah, it's not going to leave you a lot, is it?
I can easily understand why Mark and Alison love this property. I feel the same way. But it is 50 grand over budget and needs some serious money spending on it. Buying it would effectively kill off their search for a London crash pad.
But the search hasn't ended yet. The search for the dream family home can be a daunting prospect. We're catching up with two couples who went through all the stresses and strains, including Alison and Mark. They're struggling with the desire to take on a renovation project and the need to stay on budget. We've already shown them a property in Deal, which was in need of some work and which came with a pretty hefty price tag. Now we're back in the same area, just one street from the sea, to see if this property might work.
This Grade 2 listed Georgian townhouse is on the market under budget of £435,000. And what's more, it requires very little modernising.
There's a 31-foot formal reception. The kitchen and dining room run the length of the basement, and upstairs there's 5 good-sized bedrooms over 2 floors and 2 bathrooms.
Now, we are obviously back in a Georgian house. The difference with this one being that it needs a lot less work and it is more generously proportioned. Come straight in. So you've got a fantastic drawing room.
Wow, God.
In there is the granny annex.
Ah.
That's interesting.
Oh, and it does have a garden. A walled garden.
This is a lovely garden.
This house is very impressive, but by viewing that expensive Georgian mansion first, we might have set a benchmark that could prove difficult to match.
God, this house is a little wonder. Wow, this is a big room.
That's special.
And you can actually see the sea.
Mark and Alison have really grasped the potential in this house. I think Kirsty may have performed a little miracle.
It's got everything you need. It's got lovely big bedrooms and bathrooms.
Oh, God.
You don't need to do anything to it.
Boxes ticked.
It could
And
be
this
another
is-
contender.
Good work, Kirsty. This couple seem to be going in the right direction, which is more than can be said for our other pair, Nikki and Damien, who, after a year of living with the in-laws, are desperate for a home of their own.
Nikki loved my second property, but the upstairs left Damien a wee bit down because it wasn't quite as wicked or cool as the rest of the house. So for their third property, I'm pushing the location boundaries 6 miles north of Maidenhead to the village of Woburn, but I think it's worth it. The front of the house is deceiving, but once inside this Grade 2 listed barn, it's clear this would give them an outstanding family home with the period features they love. And the tasteful modern extension at the back provides a large kitchen diner. It's just come on the market at £800,000. It's more than they can afford, but I've got an ulterior motive for bringing them here.
What are you up to, Lady Allsop?
Wow. That's amazing.
It's like a film set.
It's the sort of place I always hoped I would live one day. It's just amazing.
It was built as a pub in the 16th century and was converted into a house, I think, the early 30s.
Right.
And wait till Damien sees what's outside.
What is that?
That is your office, Damien.
Wicked. Let me get it now.
He's gone. He's gone. Phil, do you want to go and find him?
I'll look after him up here.
You go and look after Damien up there. I need to talk to you, Nikki, about the big compromise.
OK.
A boy's heaven
Yeah,
for you,
isn't it?
Damien.
It's lovely.
Perfect place to work, to set up your games.
Don't encourage him, Phil.
What?
There's only 2 bedrooms in this bit of the house. And then there's a room over the study, and then there's this slightly weird room off the kitchen. So the compromise is in getting your head around the fact that the bedrooms are all over the shop.
Right. It's hard to tell. It might not work.
But I like it. It'll be interesting to see what Nikki thinks.
I wonder. We better find out.
Okay.
Would you have house number 2 or house number 3?
2. I think house 2 was so strong. This is beautiful, but I don't think they'll choose it.
I think you're right.
You think I'm right?
This house will dazzle them, but ultimately focus them.
Yeah.
I sort of feel like it's got amazing parts to this house, but I just think in 3 years, would it still work?
And weirdly, I think about property 2. In 3 years, am I just going to be so bored of this? And really, I wanted something more imaginative.
Yeah.
It's crunch time. What this house has shown them is that their dreams for a new home are worlds apart. Nikki wants a practical family home, while Damien still wants space to work and play.
I think I'm going to crush all your dreams, but I just think we'd outgrow it quite quickly.
I mean, we can put a sofa bed in there.
Oh, he's trying, isn't
Okay.
he? He's really trying.
Yeah, no, you know what? I think tomorrow is another day. And please God, you will still be together tomorrow.
Nikki and Damien really need to focus if they're going to come to a mutual decision on this life-changing purchase. Mark and Alison, on the other hand, have come to an important conclusion after a second viewing of both deal properties. Determined to take on a renovation project, they're set on the Georgian mansion, despite it being over budget at £550,000. Time for Kirsty to try and seal the deal.
What can you afford to pay for that house?
I think realistically, with the amount of money we've got to spend on it, and
the London flat, that's my
not
problem.
breaking the bank completely on the London flat, that we're probably looking at about £500,000.
I ring up now. He says yes to 500,000. What would you feel?
You would crack open the champagne.
So, only the Georgian mansion will do. It's time to call the agent and put in an offer.
And they've asked me to put forward an offer of £500,000. It's simply the limit of what they can afford. I will just wait to hear from you as and when they make a decision. He didn't sound horrified.
But the next day we get the reply, and it's not good news. The vendors are in no hurry to sell and are holding out for the £550,000 asking price. So, in a last-ditch attempt, Mark and Alison consider upping their offer to £525,000, but it's just not going to be enough. So they make one of the hardest decisions of their lives and decide to walk away from the deal.
So no deal in deal. But can we work our magic in Marlow?
Although Damien wasn't wowed by the upstairs, they've decided to revisit property 2. It's at the top of their budget, so it leaves no room for improvements. But they've come with an open mind.
You've got to see it in the long term.
Yeah.
At the moment, it's stretching you to the limit of your budget, but it's a house that you can stay in for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And every time there's a bit of a bonus, you can do something else to the house.
Yes.
And that, I think, is the point of this house.
I'm liking it a lot more already, I think. It's good to be back here and see it on a new day.
At last, they're both seeing this house's potential as a perfect family home.
I'm warming more to the upstairs now. Yeah, I kind of thought that we almost needed to have all the money to do everything now, but we don't necessarily, do we?
No.
We can work on it over the years as we grow older together.
Damien, the first time you came to this house, you were disappointed with the upstairs. What do you think now?
Seeing this again now makes me feel, yes, we can live here, we can raise a family here.
Good news. Time to drill down into the finances.
If you want that house, how are we going to make the money come together?
If we need to make a sensible offer that's at the top of as much as we can afford, then we should do that.
That's to sort of take it or leave it.
I would ring up and say, look, you told us you wanted 780 for it. 770 is all that's being offered.
I'm happy to sort of take your advice on this.
So you've got no hesitations on it?
No.
Okie doke. Right.
The house isn't on with an agent, so Kirsty calls the vendor directly.
We went back to your house this morning and we've had a long chat and we've been through everything. The maximum offer they are able to make is 770. They haven't hummed and hawed and offered less or tried to be canny with it. They really want it. Okay, brilliant. Bye. Right. That is part very good and part very bad.
Okay.
She said to herself, if I get a certain amount, I will go. Okay. And your offer is very close to that. The bad news is that she hasn't got anywhere to go, and she is not 100% sure that she's going.
But I think it's good that she said it now, because I would hate to go down a conveyancing route and her say it 3 weeks from now.
Listen, high hopes. Let's drink to high hopes.
Yes. High hopes.
High hopes.
With their offer on the table and the owner still searching for somewhere to buy, all Damien and Nikki can do is play the waiting game.
But we're far from making offers for Mark and Alison. After the disappointment with the Deal property, Kirsty's hot on the case. And it seems that between them, they've found a fantastic house.
It's in Folkestone, to the very south of our search area, 30 minutes from Alison's work.
The property was originally built as the mayor's residence in 1860. There were 3 grand receptions and a large kitchen downstairs and 7 bedrooms spread over the first and second floors, all with high ceilings. I think it's just right for them.
But for a house this good, there had to be a snag. It's the price. This place has just been reduced from 650 to 595 grand, still way over budget. But it's been on the market for 5 months. So if they like it, I'm prepared to do some hard bargaining.
It's huge for a town centre property. Let's go and have a look.
That's a big house.
Wow.
Big hallway. God, I feel like I can go anywhere. Big room.
Nice way.
Big room.
God, it's a big kitchen.
I hope size matters to these two, because if it does, this is all going remarkably well, and there's still another 2 floors to explore.
I love the rooms. It's just so big and square. I like this house. This is a great room.
Beautiful house, actually.
I get a really good feeling here, but if they want this house, then it calls for some shrewd negotiations, as it's way over their budget.
Hello.
Kirsty, it's Alison.
How did it go?
Well, we've been a bit impatient and a bit naughty.
What have you done?
We decided to put in a bit of a silly offer.
What, without even telling me?
Yes, and it's been accepted.
Oh, wow!
We got it for 518.
That is fantastic.
2 months later, they had moved in, and having made a shrewd saving of £77,000, there was plenty to celebrate, particularly for Mark, who could get stuck into his favourite hobby, home improvement.
It seemed we'd found them the house of their dreams, more than big enough for the existing family, as well as having just a little room left over for their new baby.
Oh, pat the dog. It's not a dog in there.
Mark had also begun the bold project of converting the basement into a self-contained flat for Alison's parents. And 4.5 years since they moved in, I'm back to check on their progress.
So you've been busy?
In. Yes.
More work?
More work.
Never stops with you two, isn't it?
No, it's going well, though.
So has it been bit by bit, always had something on the go?
Yeah, it's quite nice to have sort of one room that's going to be a building site, somewhere I can go and...
It's quite nice.
Mark always starts a project and never finishes it, so...
Well, he's obviously finished this room.
So, despite taking on a huge restoration project, Mark and Alison have achieved truly majestic results. Before, there were questionable carpets and dodgy decor. Now there's a warm family home full of Georgian grace and charm.
With so many jobs to do around the house, Mark's ditched the idea of a London flat completely. One of his biggest tasks has been creating this 1-bedroom self-contained flat downstairs, which means that what is already the perfect family home has been given an extra credit crunch conscious dimension and is now the perfect living space for their other new arrivals.
Meet my mum and dad.
Hello,
Jean
hello.
and Fred.
Phil, very nice to meet you,
Nice
Jean.
to meet you too.
Hi.
Hello, Phil. Nice to see you.
Well, you've got great space down here, haven't you?
Oh, we just, yeah.
Superb. Mark and Alison, I mean, they've achieved so much here. What have you made of it all?
Well, I think it's outstanding. I mean, the amount of work, that we've seen, and there's been more work before that.
And it's ongoing as well. They never seem to stop.
Well,
It's unbelievable. This house is unbelievable.
Yes.
It's amazing what they've done to it.
Alison and Mark should be so proud that they've created a true family home.
But that was 4 years ago, and there's still plenty to do before Mark's work here is done. Finding the forever home can feel like a very daunting prospect. There are so many things to get right. The house, the location,
If you're bringing up kids, the dreaded school catchment area, all of which can dramatically affect the price that you'll pay.
But if you can keep your cool and overcome all these challenges, the reward is well worth the struggle, as Mark and Alison have proven. They've worked tirelessly to transform their house into the perfect family home. When I last visited them in Folkestone, their renovation plans were well underway. And more than 8 years since they moved in, they're nearing completion.
We finished the 2 top floor bedrooms. Those 2 bathrooms are done. We've done decking out in the garden, sort of working our way out towards the kitchen, really, which I think the kitchen's the last thing we need to do. Then we're finished.
And then you want to move.
Then it'll be time to move, yeah, I think so.
Don't go giving Mark any more ideas.
Moving out of a 2-bedroom apartment in London into a 7-bedroom house here is just enormous.
Mark and Alison have traded their hectic city lives for the peace and tranquility of living on the coast.
The quality of life as a family. We've got the town on our doorstep. We have loads of parks, like playgrounds and everything. We've got the beach within 5 minutes walk. The seafront is really flat, so we go on bike rides. But even in the winter, on Christmas Day, we always go to the beach and light fires and toast marshmallows on the beach, don't we? Every single Christmas Day. And you just couldn't have that in London.
And we could have stayed. We could have stayed in London and we could still be living in a 2-bedroom apartment in Marylebone, couldn't we? But I think this is just so much nicer. Living by the sea with children is wonderful.
But it's not just 2 generations in Folkestone, but 3, with grandparents Jean and Fred still living in the downstairs flat.
Well, certainly having the ability for my mum and dad to come and live with us and for them to be close to the grandchildren and see them grow up that's just enormous. You can't, we could never have afforded that in London.
And as time's gone on, improvements in transport have made things easier for Mark and his work in London.
And I think initially I thought the commute would be too much. I think when the fast link came in, it made it so much easier. And it was so easy to get back and back into town and back again. It didn't really become so much of an issue.
I think the area's got potential as well, and so I think we saw that, and we've always wanted to move to an area which is on the up rather than somewhere that's peaked.
Has such a beautiful house been enough to convince this couple to stay put at last?
I'm so surprised that we've actually been here so long. This is the longest I think I've ever lived in a house. And I think, again, with children, that you do have to have some kind of settling down period.
Stability.
I think it's ideal to move out of London. I mean, I think the children have got so much more opportunities and so many more things to do when we move from living here than where we were before. So, yeah, definitely I'd recommend it.
One pair of happy house hunters well and truly settled. But it's a different matter for Damien and Nikki. They'd put in an offer on a property in Marlow and were waiting for a decision, but sadly, it wasn't good news.
The owner decided she didn't want to sell. But their disappointment made them reconsider something they had previously discounted. Who'd have thought it would be the house next door?
Given that it was actually the mirror image of property 2 and that they are attached, it seemed crazy not to go back and have a proper look at it and see if we could do what they've done next door.
They had the vision and offered 669,000, 100 grand less than they offered next door. It was accepted, and they got the keys a couple of days ago. But there's no time to waste.
Everything needs decorating, the whole house, and we try and put some original features back in that have been stripped out.
This whole fireplace is just, it looks terrible, but it could be beautiful. And I think that's the nature of this house. It just needs to be brought back to life.
If anyone can do it, these 2 can.
We need to put back its mojo, get it living again, put it back to the state that it should be in, and then we can move in, and then we'll feel happy, I think.
Yeah.
And in the 18 months since buying it, they've certainly been busy.
It was a wreck in terms of just it had no character, it was really soulless. There wasn't a single room that you could leave untouched. We didn't need extending, we wanted to extend it.
We've extended the kitchen, moved a bathroom, redecorated the entire house, put all the period features back in. This beautiful kitchen's gone in.
New flooring.
A lovely playroom for the kids. Pretty amazing. It's completely transformed. This house is completely transformed. It does feel like it's got a vibe now.
Yeah.
Well, we certainly could live here forever. It's a beautiful, big house with lots of character. And the kids have got plenty of room to play. I feel very settled and very happy here.
But it wasn't all plain sailing. Doing up that first family home is no mean feat.
You say you liked coming here when it was in the process of being done.
I used to come here as often as I could. I would like just sneak out and come in and walk around and imagine what it was going to be like when we moved in.
I used to come here and feel so depressed. It's been worth it in the end, but I wouldn't relish doing it again.
There's no doubting that their hard work has finally paid off.
A sense of kind of elation and freedom when you move in. You've got your own place, so you can put your own pictures on the wall. A feeling of being able to unpack all your stuff. It's like opening the box of delights. Literally, when you're opening everything and putting it back where it should be, you feel like your life can sort of begin again. It's a fantastic feeling.
At last, our house hunters are well and truly settled into their perfect properties, which I'm quite sure will serve them well and allow plenty of opportunity to grow and expand along with their families. And I call that a job well done.